What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Nickatina Show's Midnight Run. Nickatina here as your host, of course. And I want to thank you all for being here tonight. We have a couple of special guests lined up for the show tonight. We have none other than the original hashtagger himself, Sean Mayer, who has the Twitter handle of Movies That Matter with the Viking. And he also has a YouTube channel with the same name. So he'll be on with us tonight as well. And we also have, you can call me Joker. And he goes by Joker. And he's been in the chat many times on this show and on other shows. But today he's gonna be on the show. And he's brought a few little treats with him, because today we're diving right back into the Ayercut. We're gonna talk about the Ayercut, we're gonna talk about the Snydercut, but mainly the Ayercut. And because you see, the Ayercut is like this elusive unicorn that we know so much about, but yet we know little about at the same time. So I believe we're going to see the Ayercut. I believe that's already in production. Now, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I believe that it is in production already. And when it does come out, it's going to be such a good movie. And once again, it's going to show that it was an entirely different movie from what we saw last time. Now, before we get to all of our guests, or both of our guests, I should say, let's check in with everybody in the chat. What's going on, you guys? What's up, Ray Ray? We got Bat Dan, another late night stream. Let's see how late I can stay up, and let's see how sober you can stay. I know, Bat Dan, you were in rare form that night, so that's not a regular thing. And Bat Dan is a wonderful fan, viewer, whatever you want to call it. He's always welcome here. Comedy Videos 3 is going to be 24 hours. Oh, you guys are talking about the DC fandom. So what's going on, man? Let's see. We got AK. What's up, Nickatina? What's up, AK? We got Sickness in the house. What's up, Sickness? We got Visanth. Of course, he's going to be here. Dr. Fate. I miss you too, buddy. I really do. We got Reese75 in the house. We may open it up later on for viewers to come on the show. But first, we're going to kind of, because I have two other guests I have lined up, we're going to have them come on. We're going to talk about some of the topics that we have lined up, mainly the Ayercut. And afterwards, we'll kind of go from there. Let's see. We also have, let's see, what's up, Reese? I don't know. Probably because the film that we got, the Fantastic Four movie that we got from Fox, that was terrible. That was trash. I mean, you couldn't even call that a movie. It's just so bad. I mean, I've tried watching it. It doesn't work. And they try to kind of throw it together, and it's too bad too, because it looked like, it could have been such a cool movie. But I still think they made a mistake, because I think that they should have had the Fantastic Four and an X-Men connected in their Fox Marvel universe. Instead, they chose to have them in two separate universes, which I didn't understand why, but that was the choice they made, and obviously it didn't work out. So, for better or for worse, who knows? Which guests are coming? It's going to be, he has the username, you can call me Joker. So he goes by Joker. He will be here today. He's been in the chat many times on this show. He's got a lot of cool, what do you call it? Concept art and just clips from David Ayer's Suicide Squad. And obviously the Ayercut that we have yet to see. So he's got some pretty cool stuff that he's brought along with him as well. And we're also going to be joined by Sean Mayer, movies that matter with the Viking. He'll be here. He's the original hashtagger of Release the Snydercut. So he'll be here not in very shortly as well. But like I said, first I want to say what's up to you guys and see what's going on in the chat and see what's going on lately. How have you guys been? We got Akbar. What's up, man? And we got, I think everybody else is already here. Sickness, Vasanth, AK saying what's up to Sickness. Yeah. And there's been a lot of cool stuff that happened today. I mean, today we got a chance to see a lot of the photos from the Mandalorian season 2. We got to see which they want us to refer to as the baby, but we all know that it's not the baby. It's Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda. We saw Baby Yoda. He looks slightly more mature, a little different. Let me see. And he looks like he's actually aging, which is kind of interesting. Because they take a long time to age. His unknown species, that is. Let's see. I thought I had the article up, and guess what, Nickatina, you do not. Yes, you do. I have it right here. So let's go ahead and pull that up real quick, and we'll kind of look over that real fast. Let's see. Share audio. Well, no, we don't really need to do that. So, and I thought that the photos that were put out by Entertainment Weekly, I thought they were really cool. I kind of gave a new look at some of the characters that we've seen in the previous season 1. And here we go. Oh, hold on, I got to reshare because now that it moved to a new screen. So let's stop that and start again. There we go, Entertainment Weekly. Now you can see on here. So here's some of the images right here from Entertainment Weekly. You can see Mando right there with his new armor, the one that he was able to develop last season. I'm blanking on the name of the armor. If you guys know it in the chat, go ahead and drop it down. What's up, Swag? I hope he does. I sent Jesse the link. He says that he's got some things going on today, so he might not be able to make it on the show. He may stop by and hang out with us in the chat. Maybe answer some questions that I throw at him, see what sticks. But Jesse, if you're out there and you're listening right now, man, if you can join in, I sent you the link. I think I did, and you're always welcome to join in because I got to get you back on the show because we're going to do a whole thing about the Ayercut as well that I'm going to try to work out with you as well. Baby Yoda's species probably aged really fast at a certain age. Now that's interesting as well, Reese. I didn't think about that. I mean, what if they reach a certain age and then all of a sudden they kind of reach like this kind of rapid aging portion of their existence? I mean, that would be pretty cool. I had not thought about that, but I think that's awesome. And so you see on here, he's got that new armor. No thanks for Entertainment Weekly. You can go away now. There you go. Baby Yoda was somehow in France. That's what tipped it. Okay, well, let's see. Is this the trailer? We're not going to watch commercial. But anyhow, they released a bunch of photos. There you go. You can see Gina Carano over there just looking badass, as always. And what's his name? Carl Weathers. That's not his name. Is that his name? I'm blanking on his name. Guys, help me out here. I'm pretty sure his name was Carl Weathers, but I think it could be wrong. He played Apollo Creed. But anyway, you can see how he has a gray beard, and he looks older. So it makes you wonder if a chunk of time has kind of gone by in between season 1 and season 2. But we just don't know yet. Let's see. Carl Weathers, indeed. Yeah. See, I was right. I knew that. But thank you, Vasanth. Thank you for backing me up. Nickatina, I hate answering Green Lantern questions, but what do you think Sam Benjamin's arc will be in it? Okay, so I think if Sam Benjamin is going to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think he's going to have a bigger arc in the story. I think that he'll be one of those characters that sort of introduces himself to the storyline in the sense that he would have already had the ring and he's trying to figure out what, how it works and what he can do with it. And I think he's going to have, kind of like the spy mentality as he tries to figure out, what's going on. So I think it could be pretty cool. But he had stated that his arc was somewhere around 30 minutes. So if that's the case, and if he's telling the truth, then that's quite a bit of time to be in the movie. It's 30 minutes, which means that he's probably even a part of that last battle. But we don't know. We don't know, and I know there's been a lot of rumors about Ryan Reynolds possibly being cast as Green Lantern, possibly Hal Jordan, possibly Kyle Rayner, but we just don't know at this point. I think he's in the movie. It would make sense if he was Green Lantern in the sense that, Zach likes to use these unknown actors, kind of like he did with Gal Gadot. But, it remains to be seen if that's really what's going to happen. Where do you work, DC Talk? Well, that's for him to answer. What's up, Hugo? What's up, Prime? Prime's in the chat. What's going on, buddy? So, let's see. So you can see here he had a lot of, these new pictures are coming out. He's got gray hair or gray beard, that is. So he looks like he's aged not quite a bit, but he's aged a little bit. So some time has gone by. That's what it looks like, at least. There's some great, comments here from Dave Filoni, who right now is like the godfather of Star Wars at this point. And you can see here, I mean, there is Baby Yoda, and he looks a little bit older. I mean, he looks like he's aged a little bit, and he looks a little more mature, not as baby looking as he did in season 1, which makes you wonder, what other abilities and what other things that he's going to be able to pull off in this next season. So that should be pretty interesting. I thought Entertainment Weekly did a great job on this article. So if you guys get a chance, take a look at it, read it, look at all the pictures. It's great. I loved it. And this was my favorite one right here. So here we get to see him on another version of like a Rex Speeder. I mean, this is awesome looking. And then over there in the little side compartment, you got Baby Yoda just hanging out, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the view. But no, he looks really cool. This whole scene looks really cool. Gosh, this looks amazing. And they watermarked it. First look. I think there's a stream more. See, there's Carl Weathers right there, and so he definitely looks like time has gone by a little bit. I wouldn't say like decades or whatnot, but he definitely has a new look, which I like. So it's kind of more of an evolved look. So he's changing with this as the story moves on, which is good. And there he is. This is what is his name again? Moff Gideon, I believe his name is. And this guy is going to be so badass. He plays the ultimate bad guy in every show that he's in. And I'm watching him in The Boys season 2, and he's a badass. And Breaking Bad, he was a badass. So I have no doubt that he will continue his badass mentality in season 2 of The Mandalorian. I absolutely love this guy. Let's see here. I think I fixed it. Yeah, you did fix it. So you're good. Okay, so real quick, let's go ahead and finish off this article. I'm not going to go into too much detail on reading every bit of it, but just, we'll kind of look at the pictures because I'm being lazy right now and I don't feel like reading all that much. There's Gina Carano looking badass, sexy as hell. Look at that, gauntlets and everything. She's like, yeah, well, what's up? What do you want? Kick your ass. And there's Mando right there, just looking like a badass. Pedro Pascal. I love the armor. I love the chrome looking armor on that he sports. It's so badass. And yeah, he's just an overall badass. And then there's Baby Yoda. There he is. And that is the end of the article. But yeah, no, so great stuff, man. Really, really good stuff. So the point of this episode, show, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I still got Prime's comment up there the whole time. Yeah, that's how much I like Prime. Thank you, Batan. I love that you use my live stream to fall asleep too. I like knowing that you fall asleep to the soothing sounds of my voice. Batan, may you sleep comfortably. Of course, Hugo. Of course, you're always welcome here, and you are a friend of the show. Yes, Vasanth, he is so badass season 2. So we're here to talk about the Ayercut. And we know that there's a lot of things were cut out of the Ayercut, obviously. And we got the theatrical cut. And then we got a director's cut, which really wasn't much more than what we saw in the theatrical cut. aside from a few scenes that they decided to add in there to make you feel like, oh, look, see, we gave it a director's cut. There it is. That's all left over. That's all the material that he wanted. That's David Ayer's film. He said it. He said it himself. Everything's good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good. In fact, if you watch the theatrical cut, you know that shit is missing. You know stuff is missing. You can tell. And it's edited poorly because they use a trailer company to edit the film, the final edit. Like, how does that happen? How do you take the reins from David Ayer and you say, hey, I'm going to let these guys do it. They make really good trailers. It's going to be awesome. No, you don't do that. You don't. So we're going to dive right into this Ayercut situation, and let's see what we can dig up. So without further ado, let's invite our first guest in. You can call him Joker. What's going on, man?
Yo, how are you?
I'm great, and I'm happy to have you here as well.
I'm glad as well to be on the show. It's my first time on
anything.
So if I'm kind of understood, so tell me about it. I assume you got the messages, the emails, and all the pictures.
Oh yes, I did, and we're going to go over all those in just a moment.
There's quite some deleted scenes and storyboards.
There's all kinds of good stuff in there. I mean, that was like a treasure chest of just like all kinds of goodies there. Let me
hundreds of them.
Let's see here. Hold on one second. The show is on. I'm just sending Sean a message real quick. And let me go over to where you sent me that as well. Okay, wow. It just keeps going and going and going. Okay, so we know that the Ayercut has so much more in store for us in terms of this content from the movie, overall story that was developed for the movie. But unfortunately, because of some other dum-dums out there, they decided to change the story and to sort of eliminate any connection they had to Zack Snyder's Justice League universe. They try to kind of limit how much was even connected to it, if anything, if at all. And we got this theatrical cut plus a plus the director's cut, which honestly, it wasn't really that much of a director's cut. I mean, we barely saw any more footage than we already saw. So Joker, tell me, when you first saw the theatrical cut of Suicide Squad, or even the director's cut, what was your first feeling about that movie when you saw it? Did you know something was wrong? Did you know that something was missing from the movie?
Actually, I saw the movie first time with my wife at the theater, and then she fell asleep.
Awesome.
And I immediately knew it's something was wrong, just like in the Snydercut, which came later, because there's kind of parallels between the two directors in both cuts. And Jared Leto was supposed to come in like a freaking bomb and do the main show, and he hardly was in the cut.
He was barely in it at all.
No, because he connects the dots between the Suicide Squad and the Justice League. He wraps it up to a bigger vision, and if you kind of see all of the concepts and all the storyboards, you can feel Zack Snyder fingerprint on David Ayer's vision also, both in screenplay and both in artistic vision.
No, and they turned his movie, Suicide Squad. They turned it into like just this big kind of like music video where they just had they had all kinds of music playing. They had, it was all chopped up, and you could tell that,
it was cool.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
The action was good, but a lot of scenes you could have seen. You've seen gaps between some scenes, especially at the end of the movie. The final act was I think, terrible because it ended with something blurry and you couldn't understand what you see at the end.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was just like a lot of shit was coming at you. You're just like, wait,
yeah,
what the
and,
hell? What's happening
I
right
left
now? Like, what?
at myself and thinking, what just happened here? What
Yeah,
will
you're
we
just like,
saw?
it's one of those scenes where you're just kind of like, what am I looking at right now? Like, what's really going on here besides, just the basic of it. It's just, and you can tell that they had to kind of put together an ending based on the narrative that they wanted to put out, which was not the story that he had that
And
he
of
had
course,
set
the
out to make.
punchline of the movie, the punchline,
Yeah.
there was supposed to be a two twists in the movie.
Hmm.
Joker and Harley, and the Joker at the end with Enchantress, and
Yeah.
Joker was not at the end at all. All of that scene, all of that act was edited. I don't know, but if Jones or whatever
Yeah.
did it, but
Could have been.
it's obviously that something bigger than the Snydercut movie began already back then.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, they really did what they could to sort of, like I said, eliminate any kind of connection that it had with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and sort of move away from that universe that he had established, because they wanted to go Marvel. They wanted to go,
Yeah.
make their Justice League into the Avengers, into Super
We
Friends.
still
Like,
don't
hey,
know if Joker is in the Justice League Snydercut.
exactly. I mean, like you can't just force it, because then you get crap like this.
Because
Like what the hell is that? You know what I mean? Like why are we seeing that? It's like, come on, you guys. Any of us could have told you this is garbage. But
most people that read comics know Joker has very, very, very tight connection to what's gonna happen in the Snyder Cut. It's not like
well,
this Joker and Suicide Squad and the Snyder Cut. No, there has to be some connection between the two.
exactly. There has to be a connection. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the images that you sent over, because some of them I've seen before, and some of them I
Yeah.
haven't seen before. Wait, there was a rumor about McDonald's drive-through scene. Is that true? I don't know about a McDonald's drive-through scene.
I sent you that picture. Yeah, and it's a concept art of the Joker and Harley goes to McDonald's before they've been in the car and in the Batman chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
That scene also is edited because when Joker is getting out of the car, you can see Harley driving right through to the river and meets Batman, and that's it. But in it, but what happened in the scene was that Joker was waiting. He was waiting in the Batmobile.
Right. What's up, Koopy Malik? We got Koopy up in here. So here's one shot of Katana. And this looks like it's more of what do you want to call it? A promotional art, maybe concept art. But it shows much more elaborate kind of special effects that would be used on the character, as opposed to just being just her with the sword.
There's a point when she speaks about that some souls of the father
Mm-hmm.
are in the soul, the like embedded.
Right, exactly.
So in some later point in the movie, Joker asks ask Harley, but like bring me the sword, bring us like the sword. He wants to give it to Enchantress. This is in the final act, and that's all. That the sword has many meanings, and Enchantress is she wants to elevate the sword and channel something from the beam. With this, I guess from what I saw, it's something that traps some information, some maybe some god, some I don't know. There's a concept of Diablo that speaks to Deadshot, and he says to him, she's gonna transfer here something not of this world, something dark or something not of this world. And what is it? What is this Steppenwolf? Is it this sad? Is it something bigger?
Let's go to the next one here. I mean, look at that. Wow. I don't even know what that is.
This is also from the final act, and I guess it's Enchantress. She's kind of controlling them. She's obviously took over their bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
And later we know that Cantana wasn't supposed to live.
Oh, really?
Looking in the theatrical cut, she is. But at the storyboards and the artistic concepts, she dies. She dies because she's betrayed by Joker and the Enchantress. She traps her body and she takes her sword, and that's it for her because someone from the squad is like killing her while she's doing it.
Now, Dr. Fate's asking, is this real concept art from the
official
film?
concept art. Christian Lawrence and I don't know. I forgot his name. Ed something. Ed native Ed, something like this. Official concept art.
I mean, this looks amazing. I mean, look at that, and you got something going on in the background too. I can't even tell what that is. But let's see what else we got here. Hold on, let me actually go into this because hold on. There we go. And here's all my DMs. Hey, what's up, guys? There we go. Okay. So it just keeps on going. Okay, so here's a storyboard right here, which says Bravo 14. Camera moves across with Deadshot, sees Enchantress at the its camera still moving left. Harley enters as the camera continues left behind columns, and we kind of saw this as they were trying to hide, and move in on her.
And you can see someone is trapped in this ritual over there. Maybe Amanda Waller, maybe. Because she traps her. Maybe, and she tries to channel something through this person. And over this huge beam, mechanical beam. In the movie, it looked like some stones or something, but in the concept art, it's a beam. It's definitely a beam, a portal, and she tries to transfer something darker from that beam.
And Dr. Frey, I am going to ask about that, but first, what I want to do is that I want to get through some of this concept art that he's sharing with us, and then we'll get to that as well. So make sure that you bring this up again because that's something that I do want to ask him about. But we'll just kind of play along with these images as we move forward. So moving on to the next image now, we got this one here. And let's see. It says, "Here comes Incubus powering up to launch another bolt." So here's Incubus right here. The camera slides right to see him dirty through dissolved column. Oh yeah, see here's the column all beat up right there. So yeah, angle past Incubus, hands on Incubus, and then angle past Deadshot on the squad. So here comes Incubus now, and they're like, "Oh crap," because this guy's he's coming to get them, and then that moves on to
he has some sort of wings.
Yeah.
On the David Ayers Twitter once, and he kind of liked that picture because that's the original film. He filmed it with those huge wings and with that crown on his head and some sort of green stone stuck in it, and it's supposed to be something very, very valuable for both of them, and you can't see this in this film. And
yeah, he has a much more elaborate look. The look that he had in the theatrical cut, I really didn't like. I thought he almost looked sort of. It was hard to tell what I was looking at when he was on the screen because it was just a very awkward looking design they had for him, which I didn't really like. I thought it should have been more godlike, sort of what we saw with Enchantress as she started to get more and more powerful. but it is what it is, and hopefully, when we get the Ayercut, he will look better than what we got in the theatrical cut. But
Also, it's very interesting to know what's Joker, what he's doing there, what's his part on
exactly,
the film.
exactly, and
Besides helping Enchantress, and we don't know why, because in an earlier scene he throws or he loses Holly in the Chinook. So you kind of wonder why would he help Holly get away and then come back to this ritual to help Enchantress. It's like something doesn't add up.
yeah, something does not add up. Definitely, no. I think you're definitely right, guys. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. The like button's right down there below. And if you guys can, go ahead and share this. Share the link for the show on Twitter. Go ahead and tweet it out there and let everyone know that we are live. I'm going to do the same thing in just a minute. And we're talking to we're talking to Joker here on the Nickatina Show Midnight Run as we're going over some of the concept art and storyboards from David Ayer's Suicide Squad. So moving on to the next picture now. Let's see. We got more concept art for Enchantress. And this is sort of showing you some of the body art that they were kind of putting on her body ahead of time. And
also David he approved the she after the first ritual she comes back in several forms together.
Yeah.
All together. One is huge, which we didn't see in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a storyboard of this that you obviously saw, and she's like it's written. She's like 7.9. That's huge. It's like 3 meters. I don't know.
Let's see, and then moving on from that picture, now we see this one here, and now I believe this is supposed to be Enchantress at in this kind of godlike and like almost angelic form that we never got to see in the movie, and this is obviously more concept art than anything, but you can see, I mean, the original concept for the characters was so much different than what we saw in the movie. I mean, look at that. That looks amazing.
I got the feeling from the movie in some parts that she's very powerful, as in the comics, but at the end, it doesn't look like this.
No, nowhere near. But it makes you wonder, how
they can kill her brother, if they can kill Incubus in some bomb explosion.
With a bomb. The bomb.
Sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all it took was a bomb to kill him, and that was it. That's kind of like, man.
Before, that's what I asked.
Yeah, it's kind of like, if that's all it took, then why don't you just shoot a rocket at him or throw a bomb at him, and then, I got him. It's like, shoot, I could have killed him if that's all it took. So let's see. So I mean, this is just an amazing picture, in itself. I mean, and look at all the colors. Look at the detail, that they use. It's really incredible. And it's a shame that we didn't get to see more of this in the film. And hopefully we do get to see it. Now, this is
the real form of Incubus, and I think the staff that he holds, it's a very key, asset of this film, because also in the Justice League in the Snydercut, the Sad and Steppenwolf, they look for some objects in the London Museum, and I believe the staff is a very, very, very key feature in this film that we could have seen in Snydercut, but I don't know. And you see over his head some sort of crown or something.
Yeah, you see that? I mean, that looks incredible. Look at that. Can I zoom in on that? No, I can't. But I mean,
they could kill him with a bomb if it looks like this. This stuff in his hand, maybe he can control everything, and maybe he can do some more cool stuff as we've seen in the earlier scenes in the movie. But you can get the feeling from this concept art that as long as the movie progressed, both Incubus and Enchantress, they became more powerful, and that is the thing that we haven't seen in the movie itself.
I mean, just look at that. I mean, look at the amount of detail that they put into this design that we could have seen in this film, and somehow they just deviated so far away from this. And I'm not sure why. I mean, this a being like this, a bomb doesn't just like take out a god. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, come on now, really? A bomb is what did it? It doesn't make any sense.
No, and more than that, he appears in later concepts and in later storyboards that as if he wasn't dead. So apparently they didn't kill him.
So let's see. And then the next one here, and now we see more of Joker and Harley. And this is
I
a
think I
clip
saw
that,
this in a lot of places before, but
yeah.
continue. It is
Look, and even Sickness agrees. Like this is fucking awesome. Why didn't they go with that? I know. I your guess is as good as mine. I mean, all this looks amazing.
this argument. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen the argument. It's like they bomb the Chinook and she falls down, but maybe it threw her from the Chinook and then it got bombed. What did they argue about? We haven't seen that scene either because she was feeling betrayed after this and we didn't know why.
Well, but you know, looking at this image right here, it obviously it shows that the Joker is talking down to her and is basically controlling her, and she doesn't look very comfortable with what he's saying to her. And so I think she's starting to realize that their relationship is very one-sided, and this may not be what she thought it once was. But we don't know where the story was going to go with that. I mean, obviously there was talk about her and Deadshot being an item in the movie, but I think eventually you have to get Harley and the Joker together, you know, later down the line. But for the sake of the story, I think it would have been such a more compelling story to see these two in their just destructive relationship and how she kind of comes out of that.
Point, because what you raised in here, because David went with a different concept of story to this. Most people see the animated movie of the Breakthrough Arkham Asylum, so we kind of expected this movie to be. But I think the direction he pointed it was great because we don't have to see the regular Joker and everything. And I'm a big fan of Joker, so
yeah, so am I.
So seeing him in this psychotic relationship with Harley was way better for me. Even I think that most fans didn't love this version of Joker as they love the Heath Ledger.
Mm-hmm.
But if he got the full scenes, I think we would appreciate the movie much more than we did.
Yeah, and AK's got a good point. WB tried to impress everyone, but actually they pleased no one. I mean, they really didn't. I mean, the stuff they put out there, I mean, they totally botched both these films. And it's not just that they screwed up two movies, but the things they did in doing that. I mean, they totally screwed over two directors, two creators of art, you know, and not only that, but now you left this universe just up in the air because now everything's been thrown off. None of it makes sense. None of it, you know, was, you know, had a very good reception by critics and, you know, fans at the time. And they really just did everyone a disservice by what they ended up doing with this movie because it just turned out really bad.
I got the feeling that David left, but he still have a place to maybe to come back for another sequel. Maybe he's not in the same relationship that Zach was when he left, obviously. So I think that James Gunn directing the Suicide Squad and apparently maybe a sequel isn't isn't so bad because we can still have David Ayercut and maybe another movie.
Well, Jim Lee had made a comment before at DC Fandom about the about James Gunn's Suicide Squad, about how or if the movie is connected to the DCEU, and he made a comment that at the end of the movie that you'll see where it connects to the storyline. So I think at the end of the film, we're going to see that whether it's a prequel or a sequel to what we saw in David Ayer's Suicide Squad, or the theatrical cut of
Jim
Suicide
Lee
Squad.
is awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, based on everything I've seen so far from James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and apparently, there has been viewings of what he's put out so far, and they've all been extremely positive. But I have a hard time, seeing this as.
I think most DC fans have a hard time accepting a Marvel director. It's like he is a Marvel MCU director.
He is an MCU director, but I think that if any one of those directors were a good choice to come over and do a DC film, I think James Gunn will do a good Suicide Squad DC film.
Do a fabulous job because he gave the movie a great concept that had never been explored before of this 60s and 70s. Is like this super how John Cena said douchey bag.
Yeah.
Just and like the polka dot man and you see first when you see new superheroes it's great, and secondly if you use a concept that has a relation with some period of time, it's better, and he took it to some Andy Warhol pictures and more, and I think it's going to be a fabulous movie.
Now this image here, Dr. Fade's asking, who's that? Yeah, I don't know who this is. So this is Incubus. This is another form or another concept art for the character. I mean, he almost looks robotic, but organic at the same time. And this is really cool.
Yes, there's a lot of concept that I've seen that makes the movie more mechanical and like towards this point of meta. So
yeah.
What we saw was way more organic, and you see in Genesis almost human, and I didn't love it. It was.
I mean, this looks way better than what we saw in theaters. I mean, the Suicide Squad movie. I mean, Incubus looked terrible the entire time, and you look at this guy. I mean, this guy looks menacing. He looks evil. He looks intriguing. He looks detailed. He looks. It's just there's a lot more going on there than what we saw.
Like a old Transformer or something.
Yeah, no, he really does, but scarier. I mean, look at that face, God. And then we go on to more Joker scenes. And exactly. Now, this was during what I would imagine. This is during the final act where he's with Enchantress, and he's trying to tell her that he has to go, that she has to go with him, and she's resisting. Now, obviously, we don't know where it goes from here, and
when I look on his face and I see this gray black matter, I understand it's really from the final act. Maybe it's after the explosion that killed the Enchantress, or maybe it's.
It's true. That is true.
Maybe him threatening Harley to give him the sword, like I was saying before. He wants the sword over the katana, so he threatens her, like hand her the sword. Because later you see Enchantress holding a giant sword. You're supposed to see it, a giant sword. So
let's see. Now here's another scene right here. We have Joker actually inside the Batmobile. Now this one I've seen before, and from what I understand, this was never filmed, but this was just concept art for the movie. But if it was filmed, this would have been amazing to see. And it's an interaction that we never got to see, was between Ben Affleck's Batman and Jared Leto's Joker.
This movie.
What's that?
I definitely wanted to see more Batman.
Of course.
Batman is essential. Like, what did he? for the whole origin story, not just one or two scenes.
I mean, look at that. I mean, that would have been something right there to see a scene like that with those two interacting. And so when we move on to the next clip here, we see this is when he
Slaps her.
that's when he slaps her, and I think this scene was cut out as well, even from the when they added the scene back in, they didn't show this scene, which shows the abusive side of the Joker towards Harley Quinn, which would go into how their relationship develops later on, and when she begins to realize that this is not the relationship that she should be in. You know, it's a destructive relationship.
Would ever accept her to come back, because I don't think he will.
I hope he comes back. Oh, here's the actual. Well, this one I can't blow up, unfortunately. So let's go to the next one. So here's the sword right here. And you know, she uses the sword
next to the sword.
Yeah. Now we know she uses the sword to finish off or to badly injure Enchantress before they throw the bomb into the tornado of trash.
This is not David Ayercut. The part where she uses the sword, because if Joker wanted the sword for Enchantress, that scene was like edited or deleted and swapped by this one.
So you're saying this is part of the theatrical cut, this clip right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely worth notice that the sword means something. It's not like just a sword object with some spells or something.
Yeah, because that's what it was in the movie. Eventually, it was just a sword that had some spells, and it was just an object, really. Now, this is a cool one here, where it shows all these street lights forming, a wall, a barrier, and you can see the Suicide Squad down in the left-hand corner, kind of wondering, like, okay, what the hell are we going to do now? It looks like Killer Croc, and it looks like El Diablo, Deadshot, Harley Quinn. But this is the kind of stuff that I thought we should have seen more of. Stuff that makes you go, what the hell? But it makes a lot of sense. And I think
even Finland, like reforming, it's like a huge CGI takeout that you see this.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening. It's not like they arrive there and boom, they see some street lights. You see this thing happens. So that could be cool.
And then here's another shot here, which is obviously this is Enchantress, and this is when she's making her army of, I forgot what they're called.
Demons.
Yeah.
From what I saw, they call them demons. She she convert them to her demons and use them to channel some sort of. You can see this round object over there. This portal opens.
Yeah.
Some sort of portal is gonna open, and she's gonna use this sword. I don't know for what, but you can see it starts to reform in a new way. Several ways, maybe.
What's up, Gavin? No, and Hugo's right. More Batfleck, yes. More Batfleck is always good for everybody. It's good for the soul. But you can tell by this image that because there is this whole part that they basically didn't allow him to film, which was the whole part that included Steppenwolf, which included Apocalypse, and include parademons, because the whole thing is that you have Enchantress, right? So she takes over and she's in the film, right? So what is she trying to do? She's trying to appease the new gods. And who is the biggest, baddest god that's out there right now? Is Darkseid. And so she is an old god. And so by siding with them and by helping bring Steppenwolf to Earth, that would get her in favor with these new gods, with Darkseid. And she uses her magic to create this this portal to bring Steppenwolf from Apocalypse, or from wherever he's at, to Earth. Because as you've seen, when we see the theatrical cut of Justice League, he's already on Earth. He's already there. And he didn't just boom tube his way down there, because you can't just do that. So he was able to get to Earth And then from there, his parademons were able to go out, kidnap, or just kidnap people and turn them into parademons so he can build his army.
Yeah, this is definitely a great photo because I know David there wouldn't go this far and like open this photo and someone is going through it and bam, all the squad is dead. Something has happened that the photo he's been collapsed, and that brings it back to the Zack Snyder Justice League. He said the final portal on Justice League is also collapsing. You can see some lines that are leveling up here because someone is wanna come back to Earth or go through this portal and he doesn't.
Yeah, no, I mean this. You can see she's building something right there. She's basically assembling her army. And there's just so much more that's happening in the scene than what we saw in the theatrical cut. So Gavin says, wait. You're saying Steppenwolf was supposed to be in this movie? Yes, Steppenwolf was supposed to be in this movie. Steppenwolf because this is how it connects to Zack Snyder's Justice League, is that Steppenwolf is brought to Earth by Enchantress. And because that's how he gets to Earth in the first place. Because remember, when he first shows up in the theatrical cut of Justice League, he shows up in Themyscira. But how did he get to Earth in the first place? He didn't just boom tube there just for the hell of it. Or you can't just boom tube there unless you have the ability to do so. Yeah, exactly.
I think it can be the side also, but I don't know. She opens it, and someone is supposed to go through.
Exactly. So that's how he gets to Earth. Because remember, we know that. Let me see if I have the image right here. I'm in the chat here. Where am I going? I did have the image for a little while. I can load it back up though. I don't think I have it at this moment. I'd have to go do it on my phone. That's going to be a pain in the butt. But we know that we've all seen the image of the parademon lair scene when Batman discovers the parademon's lair, where you see humans that are being cocooned and transformed into parademons. That was the dark. That was the scary part, the scary stuff that he was not allowed to film. But we know that that's how the parademons were building that's how Steppenwolf was building his army of parademons. Because we all know that he's doing this. He's building an army because at the end he's gonna try and double cross Darkseid as it is. So he has to have his own army set up so that he could take on the armies of Apocalypse if need be. So there was a whole another side of the story that we never got to see because Jeff Johns and all those guys, they wanted to do their own thing. And they didn't want the story to be that connected because they had their own plans, which obviously failed because nothing came of it. But yeah, the dance scene.
The whole film.
The whole film.
Fabian Wagner himself told that what we've seen in the theatrical cut was like 10% of the movie. And that's huge.
And I do want to welcome Sean, who just came on a few minutes ago. What's going on, man?
How you doing, guys? Just listening to the two of you talk, and pretty interesting stuff. It's amazing how much they can actually make into the film, and how cool the original concept art is.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show you that this film had so much more connections to the overall storyline that was taken out because they didn't want to connect to Justice League, because they wanted to start their own universe all over again, which is ridiculous.
I hate Johns.
What's up, geeks?
I was a big fan of Johns, and basically he flattered all of Justice League, all of Suicide Squad, and that's so mean to do because you write comic books, you write magnificent comic books like Flashpoint and Green Lantern. Why do you do this? Why would you?
Remember a few months ago as well, David Ayer
takes the guts of the movie.
Yeah, but remember David Ayer said that he even changed which Robin died, and that messed up continuity big time as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
When I say Batman versus Superman, I can watch it again and again, and each time I find out something new.
exactly.
It has so many layers, and you can go forever and see that movie if you appreciate real good movie and real good filmmakers. But what basically they took a movie with layers and like they made it like fucking pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is another good one here. Now Amshri, I didn't say the name, so we have a rule here on Nickatina show where we don't say the other name for the theatrical cut of Justice League. Okay, we it starts with JOSS. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. We try to avoid that word because it's banned from this show. So, and you know what? Just so you guys know, the word I'm talking about is the word Justice League.
Why did you say that name?
Because I had to let them know what the code word was and how we don't use that.
No.
So let's see. There was a
This
question.
is very cool, but I didn't know. I still don't know if they used it. I will to bet my life savings for the Scarecrow would be in the Justice League. We just don't know how. I read tons of comics and I analyzed the Snyder movies, and it's gonna
Which
be
car?
him.
That's supposed to be Scarecrow there at the side on the right.
It's gonna be side to side to the side.
Oh yeah, I think it's very, and that's very
Scarecrow.
It looks a bit like it, isn't it?
It is Scarecrow. I mean, you can see the hay coming out of his pants.
Yeah. Was that supposed to be in Suicide Squad?
I don't know. This is Suicide. Yeah, we don't know like where this was at. I mean, this might have just been concept art for ideas they had for the film. It doesn't necessarily mean that like he was in the movie, but here's yet another look at another look at how his character could have been put together. In a different rendition
of material in the comics and some more novels. Scarecrow appears in Metropolis to help decide because he has the fear toxin. He has some messengers and guys that help him to get more fear toxin from the ace chemicals, and basically, Batman he arrests one of them, and then he starts to find out about all this the thing that why Scarecrow needs so much fear toxin. Decide basically he uses that fear toxin to recruit some people to be parademons. That is the way. I think that the whole bullshit behind the Justice League was like they can smell fear, but it wasn't a really good explanation.
But I mean, this is just you're speculating, or do you know for a fact that
that's speculation?
Yeah, and that would be really cool. I mean, think about if they were to use Scarecrow and his fear toxin, to help achieve their goal. Just the fact that they would have his character in the film and kind of develop that character, even just a small little bit of him being in it would just further develop the entire universe that they're setting up. It would have been so cool to see that.
I want to see a Scarecrow that isn't Nolan's Scarecrow because everyone loved Nolan's Scarecrow. I didn't. I thought that the movie was great. Batman Begins was my favorite in the trilogy.
What's up, Igor? Yeah, Batman Begins is great.
I didn't love Scarecrow in this movie.
That'd be another good question too that Gavin's putting up is who would have played Scarecrow? Who knows? I mean, it depends on what kind of Scarecrow that he was going to be. I mean, we just don't know. I mean, and then look at Harley's outfit too. I mean, that's a totally different look from Harley that we ever saw.
It would have been cool also to see like Scarecrow in his outfit for the entire film, not like because in Batman Begins we get to see him in and out of being Scarecrow.
Yeah,
but this film, Enchantress is trying to take over art. Like everything is high stakes. Everything from start to finish really shit's going down. So it would have been cool to see Scarecrow just interacting with Enchantress in the actual his costume, his outfit. That would have been cool. I would love to see that. So you might not even need an actor, but be a voice actor.
It would be cool to see DC going to these films and give some creative freedom to filmmakers, because you want to see a real comic book superheroes and villains.
Yeah.
And basically, I got the feeling before that they kind of ashamed of presenting a villain as it is. They went to this Nolan direction where you have to explain everything. You want to make sense from everything, and I hate it.
Yeah, we were talking about the Arkham trilogy last night, Nick, and
yeah,
all the villains are the villains. We don't get to see them in their downtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As villains, and I actually love that as well.
Hey, Sickness, I think Sickness is right. I think Ryan Reynolds was going to be Scarecrow. Yeah, Sam Benjamin. Who knows? Let's see.
Okay.
I'm still wondering, how did Enchantress get control by a Mother Box / Steppenwolf? Well, and that's I think the part of the story that needs to be further explained. From what it feels like is that she gets control of a Mother Box, and that's how she's able to. But it sounds more like she. I don't think she gets a Mother Box. I think she uses her own magic to create a portal to bring Steppenwolf to Earth, and I think that's the main point of what she's doing. But I could be wrong, and my wife often tells me I'm wrong all the time. So if you ask her,
she definitely have the power to control a Mother Box.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna be in Batwoman now. Well, I haven't really watched the Batwoman show, Geeks, but it's definitely cool that he's gonna be in there. But yeah, I mean, just the fact that they even drew out a Scarecrow concept art just makes you wonder, like, why, like, where did that come from, and how is that going to be integrated into the story? And I'm sorry, but I think that would have been awesome. Akbar writes, "What's your motivation to let the new gods attack Earth again?" But you got to remember too, she's an old god, and so Darkseid is much more powerful than she is. And so, what do? Do you try and go up against him, or do you try and, be an ally with him? And that way now she would serve Darkseid. That's kind of what I put together, is that, hey, look, if you can't beat him, join him. And so, how can I become friends with you? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll get your commander and your military commander Steppenwolf. I'll get him here to Earth, and then that will start everything, getting the Mother Boxes, and then I'll bring you back here to get the, the anti-life equations. So it's just, there's a lot of things that she can do for Darkseid.
She basically holds another wall, so she got the ability to know everything Waller knows. So maybe she knows something about the Mother Box. Maybe she knows something about, she does know something about Superman and all. So she wants to have this control over the new technologies that we have, and all of this stuff.
Now, AK's got a good point there. If Enchantress and Steppenwolf were planning on teaming up to take down Darkseid, that would have been yet another motivation for the two of them to work together. However, she gets defeated, and so he's like, well, there goes that idea. But
yeah, I think that there's going to be glimpses of that in the original Suicide Squad. We probably would have got an idea of them thinking, or Steppenwolf suggesting, to work together, and then maybe down the line we could overthrow Darkseid. Because Enchantress wants to be a god as well. She wants to be powerful. So why would she just be in the sideline beside Darkseid?
Yeah, that makes sense. She may be conspiring against him. Maybe she starts something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gavin, that's not a bad idea. I mean, think about that. Enchantress brings Steppenwolf to Earth. Steppenwolf kills Enchantress and steals her power, like Darkseid did to a lot of the old gods. Now, I don't think he kills her. I think that when the Suicide Squad shows up, I think that's right. Right as everything's climaxing, that's when Steppenwolf arrives, through the portal with some of his parademons, and then as they're fighting, he just takes off. He's like, okay, well, I'm not here to fight these guys. I'm here to start my mission. And then he takes off, and you don't see him again until the following film in Zack Snyder's Justice League, where you see what he's already developed, which is he's creating an entire army of parademons. So let's move on to the next picture because we still got a lot more to go through. And we were actually going pretty fast too, and now we're slowing down. But this picture, wow, look at that. Now there's another shot of the, I guess you could say, the portal she was creating. I mean, it's huge, and it's much more elaborate than the tornado of trash that she had going in the movie.
You can actually see. I saw the concept, the other concept that David Ayer he approved it, and you can see that the portal was opened for quite a time because you can see the black matter inside, and you see some energy driven in, and that looked huge. That was definitely different than what we saw in the movie, because in the movie we just see something opens and closes, and then that's it. But here you can see most of the city, or even the block, getting darker and darker and darker, and under a spell.
Let's go on to the next one now. I mean, that looks amazing right there. Here's some more concept art for Enchantress, and you can see how she was. Well, I mean, this is probably closer to what she did look like, but this still looks more detailed than what we saw. And then in the images over here, let's see. I'm trying to tell what's happening here.
So the middle picture, I saw it in the movie, but not as it here, because you can see she channels some form of energy to someone. Maybe it's Katana. I don't know who it is.
Or she's transforming them into her demons, and that's what she's doing with that. That's what it could be. Let's see what else we got here. Hold on. This is a good one too. I mean, this is just, you can see it's just kind of an early sketch drawing, but you can see how detailed this whole thing was and how machine-like it was. And Joker, you had commented about that, saying how it some of the things had this kind of like this mechanical look to it, even though it was manifested through magic and through.
I want to see this.
Yeah, I mean, look at that.
You see a face. You see a face over there. You see at the top a face. Someone is hovering, and you can see a face.
Oh yeah, inside of here, huh?
Up. If you look up, you can see the nose.
Oh yeah,
like
in the middle. Yeah.
One.
Wow, look at that. And then this is an interesting one here, because I mean, this is a tattoo, but look at the Bat logo.
That is cool.
That's a Batman 89 logo.
That's badass. Did Jared Leto's Joker have that in the film?
I don't know. Joker, do you know if he had that tattoo in the film?
I don't know, but I remember that he had something on that arm. He had something written, some form of something about Batman.
Dr. Fate says, "Did y'all hack into Jeff Johns' office for these pictures?" I know. I think he did. From which pantheon Enchantress is supposed to come from? That I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look into that. And if you guys know, definitely leave it in the chat. What's up, Intruder? He just showed up. He writes, there was a dragon tattoo that was removed or not seen in the movie. I have to watch an analysis of this going now. Yeah, I know, right? But this is kind of a cool. I mean, if this was real, it's interesting that it was a Batman 89 logo. It could have just been a wink to the to Batman 89. But either way, it's still pretty cool though.
It's a knife over there, and in the other arm you have a tattoo of a black canary dies, like speared.
Mm-hmm.
And you can ask yourself why he tattooed it on his body.
And this is a good point too. I mean, breaking the heart of Batman, Robin's death. I mean, obviously, yeah, I think it definitely relates to that. You can see how there's blood dripping down the knife as well. AK, you're blowing my mind.
Probably a homage to Jack Nicholson's Joker as well.
Yeah,
Just kind of going back
I
to
think
that.
so. I definitely think so. So let's go to this one here. I wish I could make these bigger. I should have downloaded these pictures and I could zoom in on them. But here you have Enchantress right over here, off to the right. In the background, I'm not sure who that is fighting each other. Maybe it's Incubus and El Diablo. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, this looks really, really cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hold on. And then if we go back, this was a cool one that I liked. I mean, look at that. That's an actual image. That's a shot image right there. That's a set.
The train station, I think, and what's cool is the attention to details, because
Exactly. And look at the flags. I mean,
well, pretty much they know what they're doing there.
mm-hmm. I love how it looks. How it just kind of like it doesn't belong there yet. It's like it's there. It's like it's eating away at everything else to be there. You know, it's just it looks so unnatural, but yet you know it just looks so good. I love it. Look, there's somebody standing over there. Who is that? That's why I don't know who that is. See on the left side, there's someone standing there. So I mean, this was like really there. This was. I mean, look at that flag. It's such a cool looking. I know it's a burnt American flag. That kind of sucks, but it still it looks really cool in the shot.
It's behind the scenes.
Probably to show how the country is right now, especially after the death of Superman. Country's weakened a bit, and it's losing its identity.
Oh, what's up, Naman? I didn't even know she came in here. Oh, there he is. Hey, Nick. Been a while. A lot of cool stuff here. Yeah, no, this is some great stuff that we're seeing. And I don't know. I know that Joker had mentioned that he had he wanted to start with this and maybe had a little bit more that he wanted to show us. But if you do, definitely send it on over, and I'll definitely pull it up for everyone to see. But so far, I mean, this stuff has been really cool. I mean, this is a shot here that I had not seen up until now. And this is an actual set piece, and it just looks amazing.
Actually, the battle in the train station where he enters this when Incubus is reforming, and I loved it. But I wish we would have seen more of this in the movie, because we saw he has some more powers to use, but we haven't seen it since this scene.
And that's the last one that you had sent over. Man, look at these. I mean, these are just really, really cool. This is the one that really got everybody when they showed Scarecrow. It's like, wait a minute, what? That's the first thing you say yourself. You go, wait, what's he doing there? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which shows that like they actually thought about having him in the movie to some extent, which is really, really cool. This image I love a lot. I mean, look at that. That's so cool. It's one of those shots where it just kind of makes you wonder, like, you know, it just blows you away. You're like, wow, look at that. But it's also kind of scary at the same time, kind of like, what the hell is happening right now? It's just like
another cool image of the Diablo, but it more looked like a using some form of flamethrower for it from his arms. He wasn't in a demon form, more like a walking flame. And I wonder if that was filmed or it was edited, because it was cool.
Some really cool stuff.
There's a little more of Batman we haven't seen as well, because Richard Catrone was on a podcast that he's the stunt double for Batfleck.
Yes,
and he was asked a question by DC Huntress on Twitter. She asked him, "Is there any more Batman in the Suicide Squad?" And he didn't know if there was any more Ben Affleck Batman, but there is some scenes that he shot that didn't make it into the final cut.
Yeah, no, there's definitely more Batman scenes in that movie.
They filmed the Batman Batman films, they took some scenes from Batman versus Superman. It wasn't Ben Affleck in most of them.
But no, it's amazing how much was put into this film, and it's amazing how much was taken out of this film. Sadly, because this movie had the potential to really bring this whole universe together. Because I remember when they first made the announcement that they're going to do a Suicide Squad movie, I wasn't sure how it was going to fit into the overall DCEU universe. I was like, how, like why would you go into Suicide Squad? Doesn't make any, like, to me, it didn't make any sense. I was like, I'm not sure why they're going this route, but I'm a fan of the Suicide Squad comics, so I said, yeah, let's do it. I mean, it's got to be cool, right? And little did we know there was so much more that was supposed to be fleshed out in this film, and how much more darker this film was supposed to be, and really just immerse you and connect you right into Zack Snyder's Justice League. I mean, there was so much. Yeah, exactly. Joker is in the best Batmobile. Awesome. I know. Now, I do know for a fact, I mean, I'm not for a fact, but from what I know, that this scene here was never shot, that this was just straight concept art. And I want to say David Ayer even came out and said that, like, this was never shot. This was just concept art for the film. But it goes to show you what kind of ideas they had for the film, especially just the interaction with the two of them, which we never got to see. So, and then let's see.
I think Joker, he represents the darkest side of this movie. Because,
yeah.
Most of the villains they kind of hired by Amanda Waller and to trade some years of their life in order to work for her or to serve her. But Joker he's free, and he's like he's maybe the main villain of this movie besides the Enchantress.
I remember back in 2016, I was watching all the interviews for Suicide Squad the press tour, and Jared Leto was annoyed that they took out all of his scenes. He said there was enough scenes of Joker to make a solo film that they cut out, and like that has to be annoying for him, as an Oscar-winning actor, probably the best actor on the cast in terms of acting, and he's cut out of a complete film, and he only gets 10 minutes. And then you have people bashing on his incarnation of the Joker, saying he's not good enough, he's not comic accurate, and all this stuff. Like, that's just bullshit. I can never understand why they cut him out.
Like, not disrespect.
But
Go ahead.
For so long, we didn't know it was an Ayercut, because David Ayer had to get the confidence from Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder was talking about the Snydercut, and then that gained momentum. And then David Ayer came out. But David Ayer even said himself he was playing the business. He was playing with the business suits. He was the yes man, saying yes to all this, and saying it was his film, and working with Jeff Johns and all those things. But just shows you.
And you can see here, she has the sword. I mean, she has that's Katana's sword. And so, like Joker was saying, like, there was a bigger purpose to that sword than what we saw in the film. There's just so much more that was supposed to be developed that they just took out. And it's crazy to think about why you would disrupt the storyline that significantly to put out what you did. It's like saying, hey, we're going to build this beautiful house. You know what? Let's just change all that. And you just got like this like cookie cutter kind of boring house. You're like, well, why did we do that in the first place? And I want to say it was, I think Akbar said it earlier, why they didn't just go with David Ayer and Zack Snyder's vision. I mean, you would think, hey, these are two, acclaimed directors. Let them do their thing. And, because obviously they had, the right idea in mind when they were making these films. I don't even know what's happening in this picture. It's crazy looking. I'll tell you that.
If somebody else uses Katana's sword to kill someone, does it still capture the soul of that person?
I don't know. Unless this is Diablo getting ready to unleash all kinds of fire on her.
Yeah, you can see the sword in the hand of Enchantress. So it's Enchantress, yes. You can see the sword, and Diablo is attacking her. What's strange is that Diablo in the theatrical cut, he died before. He sacrificed himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's only proves the theory that Diablo didn't die.
No, he definitely did not die. That's for sure. He did not die.
You see the act last night.
Yeah, they said it last night that that he didn't die. And let me see. I can find it right now. Actually, I had it. Oh, you know what? I think I sent it to myself. Let me see. I tend to do that when I want to keep hang on to things. And nope, I did not. I thought I was on it, and I was not. I'd have to find that one. Well, if I just go to David Ayer, I mean that's really what you have to do. Hold on. Here he is, right here. And let's see. Let me stop this one and share this one account because he shared some stuff today, right here. And let's see. He's of course he's a veteran, so he's always talking about that. Of course there was the Ray Fisher tweet as well, because today is Ray Fisher's birthday. He talked about it today. I know he did.
It's up there. People.
Or here it is, right here. He goes, the argument was because he killed his family, he had to die. It was either that, or the backstory of his family would have to be cut. Sometimes it's just triage to protect against the worst outcome. Why? Like, I don't understand that. Even right here, he goes, "Did El Diablo die in your cut? No, he lived, and he should have lived."
You see, it's like that. Like I said at the start, it doesn't make sense.
It'd make more sense for him to live. I remember when he died in the movie, I was like, "Wait, is he really dead? Like, what's going on?"
There was this time that he uses this speech. I died once, and I won't betray my family again. And that was so stupid. It didn't make any sense, and it sounded bad. I don't know who wrote it. Definitely not David Ayer, because he's not in this kind of cheesy stuff. He didn't wrote this.
So, and AK says right here, so David compromised with Diablo dying to keep his backstory in the cut. That's what he means, I think. No, I think that's exactly what he means. Is that in order to keep that backstory in there, he had to kill off that character, which is kind of like, why is that even why would it come to that? Like, what the fuck were they thinking when they were like, oh no, he either has to die or you gotta change his backstory? Like, why? Like, trust in your director, trust in his vision. It's just mind-boggling, really. Now let's go to there's another image that he shared with us. Let me grab that real quick. No, that's not it. Here it is. And we saw that one, and here's another one of. Now I don't know. Was this actually? This is more. What is this anyway? It looks like a mannequin that they drew it on, or I'm not sure. There's a lot of tattoos on there.
If you see the left hand, you see what was referring before. Something is written there. I couldn't analyze it, but I think if someone would get this handwriting and all of this, we would get something bigger.
Zuby, yeah, I'm not sure what it says. Maybe, never, yes, no. There's a lot of cool stuff written on him. And there's so much detail as well.
Imagine Jared Leto sitting the whole day and just letting someone paint on him.
And look at that. I mean, it's obviously when he takes her out of the chemical vat, and he's taking her out of there, and which was a really cool scene when they both jumped in there as well. I love that scene.
Yeah, I think that is only a concept because in the scene we saw Joker swimming there and getting up with some form of white clothes. So this is just representing the perception of David in the scene.
I like what Diablo says here. I mean, what Sickness says about Diablo. He says Diablo is like a fire dude. So why would a bomb kill him? I don't know.
It's like Thor being electrocuted in Ragnarok. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's like what? And what's funny is that at the end of that scene, or before the bomb goes off, Scott Eastwood's character, which I find it hard to believe that you cast Scott Eastwood in the movie, and he has no other role but just a soldier who ends up dying and just by blowing himself up. Like, there's no way that he could have said, "Okay, let me put 2 minutes on the clock so I can get the hell out of here." Like, when he hits it, you can tell that scene was not supposed to happen the way it did. They just put a blast over his face. I mean, he was dead within seconds. But like, why would you do that? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill myself because and hopefully this bomb works. Even though all it did was take out, it killed Diablo, and it killed what's his face, Incubus, and so it didn't even take out Enchantress. It's like, what the hell?
But there was rumors back then that Scott Eastwood's character was going to be played by Shia LaBeouf, and of course, him and David had worked together on Fury, and like, you don't cast Shia LaBeouf in an action-packed film unless he has some kind of a good arc or good kind of action or something.
Really?
It wouldn't just been a cameo.
It's a lame way to kill a villain. It's disrespect because they didn't only kill Incubus in a bomb, and they killed Diablo, and later they practically killed Enchantress in a bomb also. It's like they don't have really creative ideas to kill villains.
Just hit him with a bomb, and that'll do it.
Joker getting drive-through.
Joker, when they would kill him on the bomb.
Yeah, he's getting drive-through. That's pretty cool right there. And then let's see, that would then lead into, let's see, right there, McDonald's.
All right, that's cool. That's funny.
David has spoke about it before a few days that so they did something before that you get to know Harley and Joker better because they have some sort of monologue in the car, and you get some sort of flashback, but we haven't seen it, obviously. And I hope we would.
How scary would it be seeing Jared Leto's Joker eating a Big Mac?
Exactly. And earlier in the chat, the guys were all talking about chicken nuggets. It was hilarious, but I was gonna start reading it, but I was caught up in trying to describe each picture. I was like, oh, but it was funny though. Gavin writes, hit him with a bomb. Who do you think you are, Michael Bay?
Michael Bay, like 90% of the movies is like bombs, explosions. Yeah. But people love it.
Yeah, this is just crazy. I mean, look at that. I mean, these are all scenes that who knows if they were actually filmed or not, but still, it shows that there was more to the storyline, of Harley and the Joker.
Although it was kind of interesting to see if Michael Bay would agree to direct a DC movie. I don't know what about.
What's up, DC?
I'd love it. Michael Bay, I think you do pretty well. Look at the Transformer films. Make money, they have an audience. You know, I like the first four. I have a guilty pleasure of mine. I love the first four Transformer films. Bumblebee I had a lot of fun with, but I think Michael Bay has something special about him that he has an engagement with audiences and they turn out to see his films.
Yeah, well, I've always liked his he has a certain style to all his movies, and his lighting that he uses, like his color grade, I actually like it a lot. When it comes to action movies, it's really good. The movie he did, The Island, with
that was good. Yeah.
Ewan McGregor. That was his best film. That was his best complete film, where it had a good story, had a good arc, it had a good twist. It was really, really good. I liked the first Transformers. I thought the first Transformers was a good movie. There were some scenes that I didn't like the Sector 7 scenes with John Turturro. I thought his character was awful, but other than his character, I actually liked the first Transformers. I thought the end battle scene was really good, and it showed humans and Autobots working together to
Yeah.
against the Decepticons. I was like, this is cool.
Was one of the best I've seen. The end scene when Prime having the swings on him and the jet of Hellfire, and he kind of holds his arm and like bomb off the pyramid. And that was awesome.
Yeah,
That's it's a unique way of filmmaking, because it has to be so hard to do. Watching trying to make robots run through cities and buildings fall.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's not an easy thing to do.
Not every director will be able to do that, and people give him a lot of shit for it. Like, you try and do that, because that just looks brilliantly to look at, and I like him.
Yeah. Well, that's so that concept that we saw, Joker. Thank you so much for bringing that up and letting us kind of analyze that and look at that. I mean, that was really, really cool. A lot of those I hadn't seen before. Some of them I had, but it goes to show you that when this film finally does come out, you're going to realize how much more there was supposed to be in this movie. There was supposed to be better and more connections to Zack Snyder's Justice League. You're going to see more scenes of Apocalypse, Steppenwolf, Parademons. There's just so much more that was in store for us that got removed from the film because they wanted to separate it from the Snyderverse. They didn't want to be a part of that anymore because they thought that they could move in a better new direction. And we know now that the direction they wanted to go in, it was never going to work because they should have stuck to their guns and they should have stuck to what was already working. You can't establish a universe and then just trash it, a day later saying, oh, you know what? Maybe this is not what we want to do. Let's just change gears in the next film. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Because I think Zack Snyder practically visioned all the universe of DC for like 10 movies or more.
Mm-hmm.
And they took a step backward, and so every film was standalone, without any connection to the Justice League or the superheroes of Justice League. And
look at that! I mean, I don't even. There's the soldiers,
and it has a lot of meaning for this movie.
So one question I wanted to ask you though is that you made a comment a while back about a nightmare scene for Aquaman. That I think you said that and I don't know if this is like where this would have where this kind of came from, but I know you made a comment about Aquaman arriving to Atlantis before Steppenwolf and then having a nightmare about the Atlantean army invading the world or the land or whatever you want to call. Where did all that come from? And can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Snyder basically said after Batman vs Superman that he wanted the movie to be a sequence of nightmares, and that was a huge hint because if you know the material Snyder working in and the comics, you kind of know where he's going. That every person, every superhero that touches the mother box gets poisoned by nightmares, by false visions. And in Batman vs Superman, we kind of needed to see. He wanted us to see a vision of a Batman or Aquaman that they see the Atlantean army. I don't know. It goes to conquers off or invading some mainland. He said that he saved it to feature films, and I believe that Aquaman he has a scene with the mother box before Steppenwolf he arrives. So you know that in that scene something is gonna happen. You know that he's gonna see something later or at this scene. And from the concept art I've seen and from the photos I've seen, he sees the Atlantean army invades Earth. He sees Batman fighting this Atlantean army. And I think Orm, he says to Aquaman in the trailer, I'm gonna release the wrath of the Seven Seals.
Oh yeah, that's true. He does say that. Because I mean, if he has that vision, and that's where that concept art comes into play, where you see, Batman flying, in the flying fox, and you see Superman flying across the, flying over the ocean towards this invading army. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I mean, that would be awesome to see that. And I mean,
he portrays all of these movies in a very mythological way, and you can sense that he points it in a very perfect biblical direction of all of the prophecies of past times of Armageddon, and all of the earth is burning, and Snyder is not afraid to go dark on this. And the seven seals and all of this line, it means more than just a threat. And the seven seals, it's the seven seals. It's the seven seals of the four horsemen of apocalypse. So when he says, I'm gonna release the wrath of the seven seals, it means I'm gonna bring the Armageddon of apocalypse, not just apocalypse, the apocalyptic armies.
Very detailed. Everything's planned out. It's not just there for the fun of it.
Exactly. Well, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I had such a good time talking about all this stuff and seeing all this cool concept art. It gets me really excited for what's to come, and I know that we are going to see a Ayercut. When it's going to come out, I don't know, but I would bet money on that. It's already in development, and it's something that they are going to announce very soon, that we're going to be able to see David Ayer's version of Suicide Squad. And I think that it's going to be able to blend into the whole DCU story. And as we saw, there was a lot more of that story that was supposed to connect to Justice League and just to help build that overall universe, which I can't wait to see more and more of. And yes, geeks, I hope we get an announcement at DC Fandom, because that would be badass. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Where can they find you on Twitter or YouTube or Instagram? Go ahead, Joker. You go ahead and go first, and go ahead and plug yourself.
You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, and you can call me Joker. And soon I'm gonna publish my blog with some analysis on some films. And first is gonna be the Snydercut, and the second is gonna be Sucker Punch. And I have a few in mind. I think Sucker Punch will be more interesting, and I hope to go live and add more details to it soon.
All right. And Sean?
Yeah, you can just follow me on Instagram and Twitter and on YouTube at Movies That Matter with the Viking.
And Sean's putting out videos like almost, I don't know, all the time now. And it's not just certain types of movies. He's watched all kinds of movies. I was like, some of the films that he was reviewing, I was like, wow, he actually watches this kind of movie? This is kind of cool. Because it's a wide range of movies, which is cool. So definitely take a look and subscribe to the channel.
Wolf of Wall Street, where Leonardo DiCaprio's on top of the yacht and he's just flinging the money. That's me with movies, different movies, just flinging all the movies.
Awesome. You guys, thank you so much. Yeah, and like Stiggins is saying, and like I was saying earlier, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna be back on what day is it today? We're into Wednesday now, right? So I'll be back on tomorrow night, however you want to say it, for another episode of the Midnight Run. And I will definitely post the information on Twitter, like I always do, to let you guys know when the next episode is set to premiere. Guys, Sean, Joker, thank you so much for coming on. This was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see the Ayercut, and hopefully, it happens sooner rather than later. Because I think it's about time that he gets his full vision to be released the way that he intended it to be.
Fans need to support him just as like we supported Snyder, because it's for the good for all of us. It's not just for David Ayer.
And speaking of the Ayercut, like we have in the entire show, Jesse Allen of Cut Air account, who's been getting all of those cool celebrities to say, to kind of put out their videos saying to release the Ayercut. He has another one coming out very soon with another big name that's going to be very, very cool. Trust me on this one. You guys are not going to want to miss this one. It should be coming out in the next couple days or so. So
Yes.
So there's one more coming out, and there's going to be another campaign that he's starting as well. I'm going to have him on the show hopefully soon, and we're going to kind of go into detail about some of the things that he has in store for the Ayercut campaign that he's been working on. And yes, as everyone has been saying, release the Ayercut. Everyone is on the same page. We all want to see it. Now, do you see it? Restore the DCEU. There you go. Release the Ayercut. Release the Ayercut. Naman's in it as well. Everyone, good discussion, good stream. Thank you, Koot Malik, for tuning in. I want to say thank you to Koot Malik, Naman, Sickness, AK, DC Extended, Gavin Cooley, AK, who else? Igor, Hugo, who was here earlier. Anybody else that I'm forgetting? I think that's everybody. And everyone else who chimed in. Intruder, who was here earlier as well. Thank you guys all for being here. Sean, Joker, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was a lot of fun. Dr. Fate, and I asked that question for you, Dr. Fate, because you asked it earlier. So, yeah, and peace out, G. And you guys, I like this one better. Hashtag make the DCEU great again. And I think they're on the right path to doing so. And yes, as Geek says, hope you have a good night. I'm going to bed because it's late for me. And I want to thank you guys for coming on. This was a lot of fun. Let's do it again sometime, right?
Yep.
Thanks.
All right. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time.